These are no longer rumors but rather shameless reports that Harry and Meghan are splitting. Hi everyone, a huge welcome back to Princess Diana News Channel. After months of speculation and rumors surrounding their marriage, a new report has emerged explaining why Meghan and her husband Harry need to abandon their current narrative. Chapter I think it is entirely appropriate to bring non-existent children into the inheritance order. Yes, me too, but I don't really know the laws that govern this issue. So if any of you guys know, let us know in the comments. I mean, it makes sense, this can't be legal, can it? I mean, I don't know if it's fraud or what, but I hope they're held accountable for it. Harry didn't want to cause his children the usual pain. Keep it up, Harry. The only redeeming thought is that custody of the children may be revoked, or better yet, they may not have custody at all. Have these children never been sick and needed a doctor or dentist? Routine childhood vaccines, baby food, clothes, toys, other little friends to play with, slumber parties, fresh air, exercise, even haircuts. Concealed as captives, if any. But who would do this to an innocent child? I've said it many times, Leslie. I hope these kids aren't real, because can you imagine what life these poor kids would be living if they were real? I suspect they have all kinds of developmental issues at this stage simply because they haven't had enough exposure to it. Yes, you hit the nail on the head again. You are untalented. They have no marketable skills. You have nothing to sell. So of course Harry tries to get back to his family. I mean, maybe he regrets what he did, but even if he doesn't, he knows he needs to do it. Okay, now let's get back to our main content. As a result, the Sunday Times claimed in 2019 that a very senior member of the royal family had given Meghan a particularly mean-spirited nickname. Well, they call her the graduate girl. They didn't reappear, practicing their ongoing, slightly disgusting hand-holding. Meghan did not attend King Charles's coronation with him, nor was she present when he gave evidence in the case against the Mirror. She also did not accompany him when he returned to the UK for the Wellchild Awards last week. She was not with him at the opening ceremony of the Invincible Games in Germany this weekend. Although some publications reported that she would fly to the Olympics just days before the closing ceremony, and just like that, the menacing music in the background gets louder and louder. Well, Daily Mail's Alison Boshoff dug deeper into this topic. And he really pulled the veil from his marriage. It shows if everything is really good. And if they still use his and her bathrooms and still pass salt and pepper together. Or, in this case, when love is officially dead and it's time for Harry to pack up and move home. So what's really going on? Well, according to Boshoff, they're going in different directions. But only because of his profession. Once upon a time, they both worked hard to improve the Sussex brand. Good. Boshoff then writes that it's more about brand separation than personal separation. Correct. So it looks like Meghan Harry has been released, at least professionally. However, the obvious question we have to ask ourselves is, if we take what he says at face value, how will Harry react to all of this? Last year we saw Meghan and Harry take silver when it came to Netflix documentaries. They were, of course, beaten by Tinder Swindler, the most watched series of all time. And then Harry's book became the fastest-selling non-fiction title of all time. However, these successes did not bode well for his popularity. Their popularity fell off the cliff. Let's take a moment to think about how much things have changed, and whether Meghan really needs to break away from the victim and Harry narrative to become a viable business prospect. Chapter Another question: what does this mean for the path Meghan and Harry have chosen so that people now view them as a toxic couple? Presumably, Meghan needs to find a way to repair the damage done to herself by all her big-budget projects. Meghan needs to step away from the victim narrative and Harry now so people can see who she really is? Well, that number doesn't look good. As I said in another video, Meghan and Harry's ratings in the US are now in negative territory. Interestingly, despite Meghan and Harry's poor performance in last month's Gallup poll, Prince William ranked as the most popular public figure in the United States. Chapter He's even ahead of President Joe Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. It should also be remembered that Netflix's much-anticipated Harry documentary The Undefeated failed miserably with audiences. It failed to crack the top 10 most-watched shows on Netflix. Thus, this is the second series in a row that our 12-produced Meghan v. Harry has not found a good audience. Live to Lead also failed. It probably doesn't help that one of the stars of Live to Lead, former New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, went to great lengths to distance herself from Meghan and Harry after the trailer was released. Chapter I think the problem is very clear. The Sussex brand is currently struggling to stay afloat. It's a pretty difficult situation given that Meghan and Harry are now responsible for paying their own bills. For months, Meghan said the couple were like salt and pepper, always evolving together, and now it's clear they are flying in different directions, both image and career-wise. When we learned in April that Hollywood mega agency WME had signed Meghan as a client, it was said that Harry was nowhere to be seen and that Meghan was the only one to opt for the big wig look. Both Meghans recently returned to Instagram. I mean, he ditched his boyfriend Nacho Figueres's account and then Meghan showed up on his hairdresser Kathy Lee's account. But it was Meghan who became the most enthusiastic in public. Over the weeks, she's been photographed out to lunch, enjoying her California lifestyle and attending a Beyoncé concert without Harry. 50 cents million was paid by mail. But for Harry, the professional future is not so bright. He doesn't have any new projects confirmed. He was never able to get the podcast out. No second book has been announced, and earlier this year, sources at BetterUp claimed that he didn't do anything every day. And they talked about his involvement with BetterUp and said that the juice is not worth the effort. So it looks like Harry has proven to be a lemon in Hollywood. According to the email, Harry is in the early stages of negotiations for a new documentary with Netflix that will focus on oil drilling in Botswana's Okavango Delta. Well, that's great, but let's be honest. This Africa project has been discussed for months, but it's still in its early stages. But more importantly, do people really want to see it? A lot of Netflix viewers probably won't be very interested. They wanted something more impressive. There's also the thorny issue of their seemingly different attitudes toward life in the spotlight. Meghan seems ready for her close-up, but Harry has revealed that every flash of the camera takes him straight back to his mother's death. Last month, a source familiar with his time at Spotify told Page 6 that Harry has made it clear he never wants to be in the media. He really wanted to leave. I think she wants to live in Botswana as long as she has money. Meghan, the source says, really likes being famous. So when Meghan attended Beyoncé's birthday concert, she posed with Kerry Washington and Kelly Rowland. But when she went out with Harry a few days ago, she didn't try to find celebrities for photos. Amid all this confusion, there is another argument. While Meghan's friends may be convinced that all is well at Montecito State, others who have spoken with Alice and the boss are less sanguine about what's really going on behind the scenes. A top Hollywood media source told the Sussex Alliance's boss off that everything is 100% done. That's what I hear, and I've heard it for months. Bossoff also reports that another source says that Netflix probably won't renew their contract after 2 years, for the simple reason that they don't expect to be married at that point. Oh, that's not very good, is it? And here there is a certain impression. It's this potential drama, these new projects, these new paths and trying to get out of this mess that makes for a very interesting series, doesn't it? Well, that's something I can see. And what do you think about Meghan and Harry's wedding? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share it with your friends and family who will love it too. Also, please subscribe to Princess Diana News channel for more updates in the future. Chapter Thank you very much for your attention. Have a nice day and I'll see you again in a future video.